This is very funny.
I'm here for the I'm doing the TV commentary.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
So I'll ask a couple from the back if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, guys, let's get settled. You ready? Good. Good afternoon, guys and lady. We have the Sri Lankan head coach, Chris Silverwood, a man who's not new to Zimbabwean conditions. He's ready to take your questions.
Coach, first of all, obviously you played the warm-up game here on Tuesday, and it was a funny one, wasn't it? Because in the morning, the 9 o'clock start, it did a bit, and then in the afternoon, it turned quite a lot. So how conscious are you of having to make that balancing act between thinking, oh, we'll bat first, try and get runs on the board because it's difficult to chase, but on the other hand, thinking, well, if we do bat first, it's going to be very difficult for that first hour?
Yeah, we are very conscious of that, and it's something that was obviously very relevant in both warm-up games here. We saw that when we bowled first, it nipped around, and our seamers were very effective, and I think we saw that in the second warm-up game, obviously, which we weren't involved in. But it's something you have to consider. It's something you have to think about when you're looking at your own strengths in your team, and which way we go is obviously still got to be decided. But we've got to decide, what will suit us the best and how will we best get the conditions to suit our players.
What about the pitch for tomorrow's match? Obviously, the warm-up games were taking place on the edge of the square. Does the pitch for tomorrow's match differ a great deal from the pitches for the warm-up games?
The pitch looks good as it is now. Just had a brief look at it. And yesterday it looked very good. But I should imagine the conditions will remain the same. I should still imagine it will do a little bit early morning, and then potentially take turn in the afternoon as well. So I don't think much will change there. As I say, it's just weighing up the options and making sure that we sort of give our players the best chance of performing on that wicket on that day.
What about the UAE? You obviously played them in the T20 World Cup in October. Different kettle of fish now, though, the 50-over game. What do you know about them, and how have you prepared to face them?
Yeah, obviously it is a different format, but what it does do, it gives you an insight into, obviously, the batting lineup. When we look at that, we know there's some very good strikers of the ball in there. There's some dangerous players. So we have to be very aware of that and do our homework. And equally from a bowling front, we know we have some very good bowlers to face as well. So our batsmen have been doing their homework and obviously looking back over footage. Nothing's a secret nowadays. There's video footage and plenty of information out there. So you do your homework and prepare the best you can.
What about pressure? Because obviously you're coming here as one of the big dogs, if you like. Does that create pressure for you, or does it work the other way round because you are one of the big dogs that you can go out and strut your stuff?
Well, I think it can work both ways, to be honest. Clearly there is pressure on us. We've come here as you say, one of the big dogs. But the fact is that we are here and we have to treat everybody in this competition with the same respect as we would say in India and Australia and New Zealand or whoever. We have to make sure that we do our due diligence on every team, and we have to make sure that we turn up for every game. Because we've seen in the past, if you don't turn up, then, any side in this competition can turn anybody over. So we've got to make sure that we're prepared and we're ready.
The Netherlands obviously tested you in that first warm-up game. In difficult conditions, their spinners turned the ball a lot in the afternoon. Should we read too much into the warm-up games? Because obviously, I guess you were wanting to give all the bowlers an opportunity. You weren't bowling people all the way through. What should we read into those warm-up games, and particularly the game you played here last Tuesday?
Well, I think obviously we had a good look at conditions. I think that's the one thing that won't change. Yes, we bowled everybody. I think most teams have followed the same sort of format, really, of trying to get everybody the best preparation possible within the limited time that we have. But at the same time, it's I've forgotten what you've asked now.
Well, just how much should we read into the warm-up game? Yeah. Given that, as you say, you bowled everyone, you gave everyone a chance, but still, it was a tight game in the end here, wasn't it?
It was. Sort of a learning curve for us out of that first game was, especially batting second, was having a good look at how the wicket played from a spin point of view and how we should tackle the spinners. Obviously, when we come across them in the next game, because obviously UAE have some good spinners in there.
And is everyone fit?
There's one question for us. We have one player carrying a slight niggle, so that will be assessed today, and obviously team selection will be done afterwards.
Coach, coming into this tournament, personally, do you feel under pressure because of the magnitude of this? This only 2 tickets are available to go to the World Cup. Does that put you under pressure coming from a side as that is very, takes cricket almost close to a religion like Sri Lanka? Does it put you under pressure in terms of how your team does in this tournament?
I think clearly there is expectations back home in Sri Lanka. There's expectations in the dressing room as well. But equally, we've got to make sure that we as a team prepare well and make sure that actually to take pressure off us, that we're ready to play that game at any given point. And we're ready to deliver on this stage because there is only 2 places available and we have to make sure that we're there. Right. But there's other teams saying the same thing as well.
Right, then coming into this tournament, how are you taking it? Group stages first into the Super 6, or you are definitely just looking to be in the last 2?
We obviously want to win, but the first and foremost, let's get to the last 2, get to the final, and then deal with the final as and when we get there. The fact is we have to get there first, and the process has to be right, and we have to make sure that we do everything in our power to make sure that we are at that final. Because as I said, there's some very good teams in this tournament that all want to do the same thing as well, so we have to be very mindful and very respectful of it.
My question is more on the spectator side of things. Obviously, Zimbabwe is playing in Harare, and you expect that maybe the turnout might be slightly lower. What would you say to the local spectators about the importance of coming to the game and also what you have for them in terms of the beauty of the game?
Yeah, I think that spectators should come, they should watch. They're going to see some very good sides going at each other, playing some super cricket. So if they're lovers of the game, then there's plenty for them to watch here. And I know that the Zimbabwean public do love their cricket, having spent time here before. So I think there'll be a lot of enjoyment down here for them. But clearly, obviously, with the home team playing in Harare, you should imagine the attendance will be bigger there.
Thanks, Coach.
Pleasure, no problem.
Pleasure.
Thank you.